box. Your mom and her box.
Get this literature out of here. Get this goddamn literature out of here. I don't want to learn anything. I don't want to learn about these headphones. I don't want to learn a goddamn thing. Hello, Lee.
Hello, Stefan.
Hello, YouTube.
So, you were asking me why I had 2 phones.
Right, you have more phones than you usually do by a factor of 100%.
Yes. So, I had this phone originally. This is the iPhone 5. And I've had this phone for years, since the iPhone 5 came out. And during the Pokemon Go craze of 2016, I took off my case because it said overheating. And I was like, oh shit, my phone's overheating. I've never seen that
Pokemon
message before.
Too hot for the iPhone 5.
I think it was from running it like so long, and the GPS, works through that thing, and I had a charger going, like a portable charger, and just cook this motherfucker.
Screen
so
on
I was
constantly.
taking the case off
Pokemon going.
to let some air get to it, and when I took the case off, I'm like, there's some light shining from directions it shouldn't be shining from. The top screen was off. It was off, and the light was shining right through it. I was like, oh shit, the lens or the screen is just not attached anymore, and I just put it back in the case, and the case, how it works, holds the screen in there. And
You
I'm
sat
like,
on
okay.
it like a thing of luggage, and just
So we'll
closing this again?
have no issues, kind of, and didn't open it again since then. But was always weird, and my battery just kept getting worse and worse. The battery would be it would say 100% all the time, and then just be dead. And I'm like, all right, that's a pain in the ass. But it would last for maybe a half an hour without a charger of use, and I'm like, that's a nightmare. But I do have 2 chargers that can charge a phone 6 times.
Yeah, you're a crazy person.
And I would just keep them on my belt, have the wire going to that, and then I would just have it and be fine. So I told a couple people last night, oh, I should bring back the Apple. I'm like, I bought this years ago over the internet, not even from an Apple store.
I didn't even talk to
so
Steve Jobs.
the odds of me getting another one or anything, probably not worth
and
it.
Also, is not Apple the focus of all this hatred on the internet for you don't let us repair your devices, and it's all this money and what the fuck you make us, right?
it's it will cost as much to repair this as it will to buy a new one. So buy a new one.
I recall someone graffitiing fuck you Apple.
That's Casey Neistat.
Stuff. Yes.
So this phone, I have Straight Talk too, which is an out of side of the box kind of phone company, which means I had to pay for this phone out of pocket. So this was a $600 phone once upon a time, and I'm not in the mood to pay for this again. So my girlfriend has a plan where every 2 years she gets a new phone, and I knew that was coming up in November, and I was like, I'll just wait till then, and I'll get her upgrade. I'll keep her old phone, she'll get the new phone, and that'll be it. But just last week, someone else was like, oh, I had my battery bulge, and they that's what pushed the screen out. Oh, just go to Apple. They'll replace it. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, well, what's the worst case here? They just tell me no. I'm like, I have a new one coming anyway.
Because the thing's defective? Is that the argument?
That's it's an issue that shouldn't happen. It's not whatever. So, that is what happened. And I called them, and I played dumb like I do whenever I'm trying to get something for nothing. So this on the phone, I'm like, hi, I have an issue with my phone. Look, the screen is being pushed away, and I noticed in the news there's a lot of phones exploding. Is this phone about to explode?
I was just gonna make a comment about that. Your battery is doing something weird. I think people have been napalmed by their.
So I told the guy, and he's like, oh, and I'm in the car because I didn't have time to wait on hold for any amount of time before then. So I was on my way to work, and I'm like, all right, let me call him now. And he answers, and then the lady I first talked to, here's the phone running, and thinks I'm headed to the store now, or she hears the car. And so she puts on the senior data analyst or whatever from their Genius Bar or what have you, and he's higher up in Apple, I guess, and he's like, oh, so what's happening? I'm like, well, the screen is being pushed away. It appears something inside is expanding. I don't know what that could be. I know what that was, and
but they're it's literally like in a movie, a guy comes over, takes off his glasses. Dear God, the phone's gonna explode! Hurry, walk him through it. All right, cut the blue wire. They're going through
So the guy goes, oh, and he had a word for it. I think it's oh, it's a swollen battery. We see that's a thing we see, blah, blah, blah. He goes, all right, so usually we would charge you for a battery repair here. But earlier on in this conversation, I was, he was saying how this and that and setting up appointments and whatever. And I was like, I love Apple. That's the reason I keep coming back. That's blah, 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 blah.
But I don't have any money.
Whenever you talk to anybody, always say thank you. And if they say, hi, I'm Brendan from Apple Care, blah, blah, blah. Hey, Brendan, nice to meet you, whatever. Just fucking talk to them like a normal person because all day they hear people bitching and screaming and fucking at them. And that's me sometimes. But when I don't know I have no legs to stand on, be very nice. If you think you have a case, you can yell at someone.
I think even worse than that, they just get weird calls like, my phone! my fucking phone's broken. And you're like, hello, are you, my phone, and they're just like, what are, sir, can you pick up the phone? You need to be able to hear me. He's just shouting at his phone in like the bathtub, like, it's broken. And they're like, help, please, someone, all right.
So I'm 90% sure, because of how Apple, I know what it does, is that like they're not going to fix it. If anything's going to happen, they're going to replace it. But I'm thinking I'm going to have to pay something. And I don't want to pay anything.
No.
And the guy goes, all right, I always say like, oh, so you can fix this? How do you fix this? What's going to happen next? Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, all right, so what's going to happen is you're going to come in here, it will be a simple replace. We'll give you a new one, and you take out the old one. He goes, make sure you backed up your phone. Like, I go, back up? What does that mean? Like, I have iTunes, and, keep playing dumb. And then he's like, all right, so...
Get all your kitty porn off the phone before you bring it here. We have to report it. I'm sorry.
So he says, usually this would be a battery replacement charge. He goes, but I'm just going to write that off for you now. He's like, so you're just going to come in, it'll be free of charge. They're going to swap this phone for the next phone. I go, oh, cool.
Do you know, or did you look later how much that charge would have been?
It would have been like $250. I think.
Holy shit.
Because it would have just been like paying for another phone.
That's a lot different than zero, yeah.
And so like it was like free, and I was like, all right, awesome. And what happened though outside of this transaction was 3 days prior, because I had to set this appointment up for a Monday. Like, it was on a Friday, but wasn't available until Sunday to get like an appointment with them. But I was busy Sunday, so it got pushed to Monday. But on that Friday, my girlfriend got her phone in the mail early, and so I had her other phone, her old phone, like right away. And I didn't activate it because I was afraid putting my SIM card in the phone would show up in their system like, he has an iPhone 6, he's fucking us, blah, blah, blah.
He found this iPhone 5 in the gutter. Look at it. It's obviously a gutter phone.
But what was really cool, which I totally breezed over, when I first called to make my appointment, and I said earlier, well, I bought it on the internet. There's no record of me buying this. AppleCare. I don't have AppleCare. You're a fucking idiot. Whatever. I didn't pay anything.
For shit.
I call, and I'm
Fuck
like,
you.
it's like, bring, bring. Hi, Stefan. Are you calling about your iPhone 5? And I was like, what the fuck? And somehow you're like auto-registered, like with your name, your number. I guess once you log into iTunes, it just like registers your phone.
Okay, is that
so they knew?
Is that horrible and scary, or do you love that? How do you feel? About I know
it's
it just
only
helped
horrible
you.
and scary if it fucks you.
Yeah.
And it only helped me, so it's pretty good.
Okay.
But it was great because I had
the kind of thing normally we'd say like, what the fuck? How do you know? Oh God, or something like that. But in this case,
in this situation, there was no proof I got this phone at all, and I just got another one. So now I have like two, and Babs had broken this phone like 4 months ago, so got another one. So these are both like brand new
phones.
fucking phones, and it's pretty great.
So 2 phones, Mr. 2 phones.
I got 2 phones,
and they were free to you, but she obviously, well, it's like free, but
you
it's part
pay
of her
like $10 a
thing or
month for
yeah.
like whatever, and then eventually you own that phone, and then bam, I got that phone, and the other one was straight up free because I bought it like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I needed a new phone myself, but I don't have an iPhone, so if I call somewhere, they're just gonna say like, "How'd you get this number?"
Hey, you. Get
Hey,
the fuck
you.
off
Why
this phone.
are you calling AppleCare? And I'll be like, please.
Now, AppleCare, I'm having a real problem. You see, I have a Samsung
You're
here.
supposed to know me. My friend said you would know me. Please.
I thought this was like the Cheers bar where everyone knows my name.
Say my name. Give me a phone. Wave it. Can you wave it? My friend, you waved it. I'm waving right now. I'm waving back.
I'm drowning. Stop waving
Help
back.
me. I need to keep my arms low for buoyancy. Oh.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
That's
and now
amazing.
I have 2 phones for video recording.
People say Apple's awesome customer service and awesome whatever.
I was blown away. I was like, this is insane.
That's pretty crazy.
And then I go to get the replacement, and I take it out of the case for the first time since the last time, and something about me doing this, when I put it back in, I like fixed it completely. There was no sign that the screen was ever off on the phone, because like when I put it back in the case, I must have popped it back in and like sealed it.
Okay.
So when I show up, the guy's like, all right, so what brings you here? And I'm like, oh God. I'm like, oh, the screen was popped off. I go, but now it seems to be fixed because I shoved it down. And then he goes, all right, just sign here, and just gave me another one. I'm like,
he's like, you have an appointment. I'm gonna
I thought that was the last line of defense where they were gonna be like,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
because I don't understand how a guy on the phone could do any assessment. And
Didn't you try to shove it back in earlier and it didn't work? But it just fixed it.
It
now
fixed
or
itself
something?
somehow, like just shoving it back and it being in my pocket or whatever. It was
Cooled
like
off
it
the
was
battery?
perfect. There was no issue at all. The battery, I feel like I crush it down and like launch the battery acid out, and that's why the battery was like dying so fast.
When you said like when you were leading up to that and saying, oh, the best part was I take off the case and I pictured like a snake from like the fireworks, like the battery just goes fucking crazy and starts
Well,
growing.
that would be delightful, but
like,
it didn't happen that way.
like Akira or something. It was the exact opposite.
Yeah.
That'd make me nervous too, because you're like, I'm not scamming you. This is literally not a scam for once, but it looks like it is. It totally looks like it is, but it's totally not. I'm sorry. Oh God, oh God. And they're like, why are you so nervous? Are you sweating? I just did the phone. I called. Oh God. Yeah.
That was great. So yeah, I recommend Apple. Get an Apple phone. Apple Care.
Get
They
two.
Care, whatever. Yeah, get two.
Fucking A.
My only qualm about this was Babs's mom also got a new phone, but like did her like, oh, you sign it to them and it, like, you know, $100 whatever comes off the next bill or something, like by giving the phone back. I'm like, I would have gladly paid $100 to get a third phone.
Yeah, I buy cheap phones and I run them into the ground. This phone restarts if you like smack it just right. So
Let's see it on the camera.
I'm not sure if this is gonna work. I just broke my phone for no reason.
I
No.
pictured your fist going through it.
I was just gonna say it's just gonna go ugh, fall down. No, if you like drop it like 1 inch, it just like restarts normally. But I guess it's shy and it won't do it now.
Yeah, ghosts.
But I'm about due for one, and then I don't put hard cases on them. They just die. And like I've never been like, you should keep that. I'm like, why? It's fucking broken. Well, that's why I'm getting a new one. I would never get a new one if it wasn't fucking broken.
I'll take that when you're done with it.
Oh yeah. No, I'm gonna keep it. Oh, I need it.
Yeah, my goal is to acquire 100 iPhones and just film myself. Like
The camera's
crazy.
horrible on this. The camera, I got like
Is
the
it?
worst camera model. Yeah.
Really, that's terrible.
It's like weirdly bad. Like, you know how iPhones have a weirdly good camera? You're
Yeah.
like, really? Was that taken on your iPhone? You're like, yeah. You're like, wow, it's amazing. This is the opposite of like, what kind of phone do you have? And I'm like, this. And like, wait, that's a real
Do you
phone.
have a flip phone?
Yeah, it's like, how did you take such a bad video on your like quote unquote normal looking phone?
All right, so that's the story of how I got 2 phones.
Greatest day of your life.
Cue the music.
Twice as good. Cue the music of 2 phones.
Yeah.
I got 2